Lobbycast? I like that.
We're recording in a van down by the river.
I will probably edit that out.
Yeah, well, with the constant F-bomb.
Quote Brad Pitt, what is in the box?
Am I the only one that's impressed that Brendan Fraser still gets work?
Hello and welcome everybody to the Lobbycast. This is episode 328, as I recall.
Yes.
Does that sound right to you?
That sounds about right to me.
Just me and Erin today. We are missing Brick and Will and Blaine and you know I don't mean to spoil what you're listening to, but I listened to last week's show and you guys did a great job.
Thank you.
It was a better than normal show.
Excellent. Glad to hear it.
How did you enjoy being interviewed by Blaine?
It was definitely interesting.
I liked it though. It was pretty cool.
Excellent.
Something a little bit different.
Yes.
He did a really good job of engaging you guys in what you had been watching and your opinions.
Yeah, he did have
kind of stuff, so.
very detailed questions about what we've been doing.
Yeah.
So that was
I just
right. It was
like
a
it when
change.
Blaine's on the show.
He's good at what he does. He's a good addition.
Absolutely.
He should stop by more often.
He should definitely stop by more often. I would like that very much.
We all would.
Yeah. So, a couple of things. Let's see here. Have you played any of Elder Scrolls Online on the PC?
I've not.
Will you guys be getting the Elder Scrolls Online for the Xbox?
Yes.
Okay.
Not
in
only
the
yes,
plan.
but hell yes.
Okay. So it's pre-ordered. It's good to go.
It will happen. I guarantee it.
Did you guys get your second TV, second Xbox, and second copy of the game?
No.
Okay. Because there's been discussion about that. So.
There has been. This discussion has largely said, Will saying we need a second of everything, and me saying no, I don't think that we do. Do we? Do we need that?
Do you remember when Will was off work and he was?
Yeah. See, that's the thing that I'm almost wondering if this was like a deliberate ankle thing, because at this point, after watching him play video games for a week and a half straight, I'm a lot more inclined to say, yes, we need a second of everything. And Will, looking back on times when I've gotten addicted to things and
right,
kind of tried to kick at him when he tried to get onto the TV, things like that.
Yeah.
There's those arguments to be made as a pro.
Yeah, and I've had that same kind of thing happen at the house because I've got the Xbox One in the living room and I've got a 360 in the bedroom, and I did go out on occasion and rent an extra 360 copy of Destiny so that I could play because the other room was occupied.
Yes.
Well, the nice thing about Destiny is that whether you're playing on the 360 or the One, it's the same game. You continue with your characters. It's seamless.
Okay, that's
not,
nice.
Yeah, it's not like you have your 360 characters and you have your Xbox One characters.
Okay.
It is seamless.
That's a nice advantage. I haven't messed with Destiny at all, so I didn't realize that was an advantage to it. But that's nice, especially since sometimes your roommates don't like to share your stuff with you. I've noticed.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. But unfortunately, that's not the case with every other game. I think every other game. Diablo 3 lets you transfer your character.
Okay.
But it's a one-way ticket, basically.
Okay, I was about to ask if that had changed, because I know sometimes when in the past, especially with things, other Elder Scrolls games, Oblivion is the one that I was thinking of, where that was just, if you tried to transfer stuff, they tried to sell that as a plus. You can transfer these things. It was a disaster, as you know from the...
Yeah, sometimes it works out fine. Other times, not so well.
And the other thing that we had issues with was, at times, the DLC not transferring.
Right.
And they still had record that you'd bought it, but that you couldn't access it. And by the time... I don't know if you recall that, but I was working on getting our DLC back for months. Which
is awful.
Which is awful, and we could have purchased it all again and made it a lot easier, but there was a principal involved at that point, and damn it, I wasn't going to do that.
And also a promise of resolution. Like, oh, if they're going to fix it, then I don't have to rebuy all this stuff.
Yeah, well, and the problem is that they have so many call centers, customer service call centers, that it's an issue because it's a crapshoot to see which one you're going to get to, and I don't know that their records. Speaking of having transfer problems, I don't think their customer service records transfer from center to center.
Right.
And
I hate telling my issue to someone over and over and over again.
And that's what happened every time. And it also became an issue of language gaps.
Right. Which happens also.
Which happens quite frequently. I was finally able to get a hold of, and that actually became the biggest problem, I think, really was the language gap issue.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that people just didn't understand what I was saying for about 2.5 months straight. When I finally got somebody that spoke my language as a first language, the situation was resolved within an hour.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And
that was
that's
fun.
even more frustrating.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I and it's not that I have so much time to play, but man, being able to play freely no matter where I'm at, that's
a beautiful thing. Yeah,
there's something to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the kind of thing that almost makes you want to buy like a gaming laptop and just play the PC versions of things and be done with consoles.
It really is, because there's so much. There's just the issues aren't there.
Yeah.
The patches are better on consoles when those need to happen, which they do frequently.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll see. We'll see how it all shakes out.
Hopefully it yes.
But I'm also getting it. I'm very much looking forward to playing games with you guys as is possible.
Absolutely. That should be a big plus for Elder Scrolls Online.
We've hardly been able to do anything as a group on Neverwinter, though, so I'm not deluding myself here. Yeah,
we're not. Nobody's getting hopes up too high, because just as a bystander, watching groups trying to happen on Neverwinter has been fascinating, almost in a perverse sort of way.
Yeah. So yeah, well, let's go ahead and get into the news, unless there's something you wanted to.
Nope.
Get out of the way.
News sounds fantastic.
All right, perfect. All right, well,
now that I've vented on you about the abysmal call center experience.
Yeah, I've been there.
Past days.
We've all been there.
We all have. I'm sure you all sympathize.
Some interesting Star Wars news came out today.
Mm-hmm.
There is going to be a new trilogy of books, kind of going back and taking a look at the original trilogy, New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi from a different perspective. Scenes between scenes from a different character's point of view.
Nice.
So we'll see. You don't really want people going back and messing with stuff like that. It's almost like a George Lucas special edition.
Yeah, there's that.
There is that. But at the same time, it could be like an interesting nostalgic thing, and that's probably what they're going for.
I hope so. I do, and I hate to sound this way, but the fact that they're books, I think, lends it more potential for them to go that route.
Right. So
for what that's worth.
Yeah, for what that's worth. We'll see how that turns out. I'm interested. I'm sure I'll read them.
Sure.
I don't really read the expanded universe stuff for Star Wars, but it'll be interesting to go back and see that story from a different point of view. And speaking of writing, George R.R. Martin is not writing a single episode of Season 6 of Game of Thrones. He is far too busy trying to finish up the books.
Which should make everybody happy. I would think. That's a good thing.
That is a good thing. He needs to be busy writing the books, because everybody is
clamoring for those books.
Yeah, and the series has caught up to and in some way passed up the books. and we've talked about that before.
Sure.
How there weren't the books in the TV show are diverging. So
Yes,
it would be parallel universes at some point. Although I'm sure there'll be some overlap because they're still talking back and forth and collaborating on major story issues. So
Right.
yeah. And something we've talked about happily in the past is there's going to be a new version of The Stand, and we were curious as to how they were going to do that. And it looks like what they're angling for is an 8-episode lead-in on Showtime, and then there'll be a movie-length thing to finish it up. And that, we hadn't considered that possibility, breaking it up into a miniseries plus a movie. And it may end up being the best way to handle it. Hopefully it works out.
I would think so, because I hope so too. I mean, you never know, but the way the book is written, I think that could work out quite well, because you do see a lot of lead up to.
Yeah, you handle all the lead up in the story, and then basically the final approach to the confrontation
could be the movie.
Could be at the movie.
Sure.
And I see that as being a good way to do it. Hopefully, it will be a good way to do it. And seeing as how it's Showtime leading into a feature-length, probably at least PG-13, if not R-rated movie.
Right.
We could actually get our definitive version of the Stand on film.
Which would be an amazing thing, because as we've discussed in past episodes, they were trying really hard, I think, on the TV miniseries, but it was a TV miniseries, which put them at a disadvantage automatically.
Yeah, because just because of the subject matter and the darkness of the story,
you have to dilute that.
Heavily censored and diluted TV shows just aren't. Because it was network television before.
Right.
It wasn't cable.
No. So that'll help them out. That Showtime's handling this. That's a big plus.
That would be great.
Certain actors not being present for this version will also be a big plus.
Right.
Just saying.
You're not a big Molly Ringwald fan?
I like The Breakfast Club as much as anybody else. But I don't think she acquitted herself, perhaps, as well as she could have in the miniseries. And
it would have been better had she done her stairway dance from the Breakfast Club.
That could have worked. A scene from the book where she's trying to stomp out her laundry or something. She could have worked that dance in there, Just a suggestion.
Yeah, that was would have been pretty great. So I have high hopes for this. This actually
sounds good.
Makes me feel better about the whole thing.
Yes.
We haven't been overly positive about it in the past, or what they've done with it in the past.
Cautiously optimistic.
Cautiously optimistic, yes. And now I'm slightly more optimistic.
Yes.
Slightly
less caution, little more optimism.
That's right. Things that I wish I could be cautiously optimistic about. There's going to be a spin-off series from 24. Jack Bauer may pop his head up, do cameo-type deals, maybe just in the pilot, who knows. But there's going to be a new male protagonist, and so new main character,
yes.
Same shoddy hiring practices in the counterterrorism unit. I'm sure that there will be somebody that they missed in the intense screening.
Yeah. I'm sure that...
Are you a bad guy? No.
Do you swear you're not a bad guy? Yes.
All right, sounds good.
Us.
Should we have hooked him up to the lie detector thing?
Nah. It's going to be the same doorway that anybody can walk through with no screening, too. So,
right.
Does anybody know that guy wandering around back there? I don't. Do you? Who's that?
You apparently get a harder time trying to take half a tube of toothpaste through airport security than you do trying to get a job with the NSA, FBI,
Absolutely.
or CTU.
True story.
Yeah. So
So there's that.
So there's that, and it's probably not going to be good. And something else that's probably not going to be good, also from Fox, is a limited return of Prison Break. Prison Break was kind of cool the first season.
I never watched Prison Break, but I heard the people that liked it really liked it. There was a pretty strong group of fans out there from what I could tell.
Yeah, it was basically the visual representation of Murphy's Law.
Okay.
No matter how improbable it would be for things to line up badly, it would line up badly.
Got it. All right. That's an interesting take on that series.
Yeah. Whatever the plan was, the plan would not go according to plan.
Got it. Now, you said limited? Is there only a certain number of episodes in the works?
It's going to be kind of like this last 24 thing. It'd be 8 to 10 episodes.
Okay.
And then done.
Got it.
Taking place in the same world, but it's not. I mean, the series isn't starting up again.
Okay.
So we'll see. We're probably going to try. I guess this is just going to be Fox's thing now. Is rehash their old properties as
something slightly tweaked.
As something slightly tweaked, even though the series, each one of these series went off the air because they weren't good anymore, and hadn't been good for a while.
And I heard from what little I saw online about 24, some people were saying, "Oh, this can't happen with Jack Bauer." But I mean, that like you said, that had run its course. It was it was pretty much done. So I think that if they're going to go back to it, then they do need to do something else with it.
Well, you know what's going to come next? It's a crossover series between 24 and Prison Break.
Where, the terrorists actually are able to get into the jail, maybe? Walk in with nobody noticing?
Wentworth Miller is forced to help break the terrorists out of jail.
Oh, yes. There you go. And nothing will go according to plan.
And nothing will go according to plan.
Excellent.
So, I don't
See,
know.
we're just throwing ideas out. We're just spitballing here, but Fox, we've got your next series for you right here.
That's right. We have got it.
Neat. What was that?
There are noises, apparently.
Okay, we have a soundtrack.
We have a soundtrack. I'm not
soundtrack.
sure. Something else. It's like mostly television news, I guess. John Noble is going to at least join Elementary for a story arc. He will be playing the part of Sherlock's father.
Yes.
So, do you watch Elementary at all?
Occasionally, yes.
Yeah, I like Johnny Lee Miller. I think he does a good job with the character. It's a more of a modern.
Absolutely.
Well, it's much more modern. It's even a more modern feel than Sherlock on BBC.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say. And you're right, I like Johnny Miller a lot. He does well with the role, and I don't know if this is just my perception, because it seems like Benedict Cumberbatch tends to get a lot of attention for playing Sherlock, and maybe not as much with Johnny Lee Miller, but I think he does every bit as good a job as Mr. Cumberbatch. Yeah,
and maybe because of his role in Trainspotting, he's a little bit more believable as a former heroin addict.
Yeah, there's that too. Very, very much so.
Yeah, you don't see as much of that tortured soul in Benedict Cumberbatch's Sherlock.
No, you don't. I mean, he's socially awkward and kind of jerkish a lot of the time, but you don't see as much of that.
Yeah,
and Johnny Lee Miller definitely brings a lot more of that to the table, so it's a really interesting take.
Yeah, and they're both good, but they're very different.
Absolutely.
they're very different shows and very different characters.
Yes.
And then the last bit is, it looks like Ewan McGregor is going to come back and reprise his role as Obi-Wan Kenobi in one of the Star Wars universe movies.
Yes.
It's not the sequel trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be a one of the side stories, kind of like there's going to be a Boba Fett movie. There's probably going to be a Han Solo movie.
Yeah, that was what I saw.
And so he may be in one as well. I mean, it's not 100% confirmed, but
I think that'd be nice if they brought him into it for if they're gonna, especially if they're gonna take that tack of the different storylines.
Yeah, and it'd just be something a storyline that takes place after what was it? Revenge of the Sith? What was the third prequel?
Yeah. Sorry, Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah, so it'll take place between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. Where a slightly older Ewan McGregor will play a slightly older Obi-Wan
Kenobi. All right.
And I thought he did a great job with Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He did. I thought it's really uncanny. I'm sure everybody had that reaction of how much he sounded like a
young Sir Alec Guinness.
Absolutely, that really floored me the first time I saw that movie. First time I saw the preview. We've discussed previously how they managed to keep the preview off the radar, and then the theater exploded when that came up. But when his voice came through, I'm sensing a great disturbance in the Force. I thought they were doing some weird soundtrack transfer, like what they did with Marlon Brando's voice in the Superman movies.
Yeah, it's
so kudos to him.
Yeah, and it's the same kind of performance that I really enjoyed in the Star Trek movie. Like seeing Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, he did a good job with that, and Zachary Quinto as Spock.
Absolutely, yeah, for sure.
Did a good job. And who was it that played Dr. McCoy? That was awesome.
Yeah, it really was. It was.
Yeah.
Darn it, I can't remember that actor's name, and that was probably the one that I...
It's Carl Urban. Keith Urban's the country singer.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl Urban.
Different Urban.
Yeah.
That was good stuff.
Yeah, it was good. So, well, I'm so curious to see how these Star Wars movies do.
Me as well. It'll be interesting to see how they are, how people react to them.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, he did a fine job with the Star Trek remakes, so hopefully he'll handle the
Star Wars
movies as well. But the side movies aren't going to be directed by him, so we'll see.
Yeah, that could be a different thing altogether. So it'll be interesting to see how everything comes out.
Why did they do these things with my childhood memories?
I don't know.
All right,
it's a little stressful sometimes.
It can be on occasion.
On occasion.
On occasion.
Sometimes it's a good thing.
Sometimes. Well, let's go ahead. Do you have any news?
No, I think those were
overlapping news stories.
Overlapping news stories. Yeah.
Okay. Well, there wasn't a whole lot this week.
Oh, actually, I think we missed something really important. Actually, we did.
Okay.
Fallout 4 preview.
Oh yeah.
How did we forget that? Our apologies.
Oh man.
Our apologies. Yes, happy. I mean, I don't think I can show this on camera, but look how I listed it for.
Oh. Yeah.
So,
I may. Let's see. What's the best way to put that? I may have residual reaction to having seen that trailer.
That is a beautifully put, sir. Beautifully put.
Yeah. I'm super excited, and it takes. Is it Boston area in It's Massachusetts.
Yeah, I didn't. I meant to look that up, and I didn't.
I think it's Boston.
Okay,
is where it takes place. Man, that's
so pretty.
Gonna be that's
so
gonna be
pretty.
A lot of fun. I mean, it does take away from my little dream of having a Fallout online heading our way. That could be the next thing, though.
That could. We're not saying that couldn't happen in the future.
Right.
In fact, I would hazard a thing to say that it's a good chance that it will happen in the future.
Hey, if Elder Scrolls Online does well, and their Fallout game does well, then
there you go. It could happen.
It could happen.
But yeah, we're sure we're preaching to the choir. If you haven't looked it up, please do. It looks so nice.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun, and Erin and I will have permagrins for a while.
Yes, we will.
Once it actually comes out.
It will be excellent.
We don't have a release date, correct?
No.
We will have a release date soon, I'm sure. E3 is in like a week and a half.
Ish?
It's sooner than that.
I don't remember the exact date. Oh, wow.
It's a week because I think it starts on the 14th, and maybe the Fallout presentation is even going to be on the 13th. It's coming very soon.
So exciting.
So definitely excited about that. Well, let's go ahead and get into the Weekly Whatchas. What you listening to this last week?
Let's see. I have been listening to this one probably overlaps a little bit with what you're watching, but YouTube channel that I tend to listen to more top fives, various different lists. Lists are huge on the internet right now. As we know,
people love lists.
People love lists. But some of it's more, I think it tends more towards supernatural, top 5, crazy ghost sightings caught on tape or by the CCTV or nonsense like that. But
sure.
Some of it is really interesting. Top 5 stories of animal heroics, top 5, interesting last photographs taken. So some of it is educational. And it had the gentleman that does it. A lot of them aren't narrated because I don't think people have quite the presentation abilities or whatnot. But he actually has skills in that area, so he does narrate his own stuff, which is interesting because you don't see that often. And oftentimes when you do, you kind of wind up saying maybe they shouldn't have. But he does interesting stuff.
Good.
A lot of Dusty Springfield this week. A lot of Sam Cooke, a lot of Marvin Gaye, some Adam Ant, and of course The Darkness. Their full album, Last of Our Kind, dropped, so I've been enjoying the hell out of that.
Good.
How about you?
No music this week.
Okay.
Kind of or actually these last 2 weeks. I was on vacation, that's why I wasn't on last week's show.
You were busy sipping Mai Tais in Jamaica.
Oh, I've been busy. That is for sure.
Among other things.
Yeah. So no music. I've listened to a lot of podcasts. 6 or 7 episodes of Gamertag Radio.
Oh, okay.
So trying to get caught up on that. It's research, really, because they hit their 10th year this year.
Wow, really?
And
good for them.
And they got picked up by CBS Podcasting. Play.it is CBS's broadcast network, and right after that, they're going to be on Spotify. They're going to be the first gaming podcast on Spotify.
That is pretty cool.
And these are, I don't know any of them directly. I've met them, but they're friends of friends.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And it's a really cool story.
It is.
I'm kind of studying their podcast, but really the magic of it all happens behind the scenes.
Okay.
And I'm just baffled by their ability to get so much done and still have like regular jobs and
lives and
because I barely even have time to play games, and these guys have real jobs, play games, able to do their interviews and reviews of games and products. And it just speaks a lot to how hard they work.
Absolutely.
How hard they worked in the past to get to where they are now.
Sure.
And Danny, the main host of the podcast, get inducted into the Podcasting Hall of Fame this year.
Excellent.
It's awesome. So I'm just like nothing but happy for those guys. They do a great job, and man, I'm glad to see. after 10 years, all of their hard work kind of getting a little bit back from it.
Sure, for sure. That's good for them. It sounds like they're really getting some good rewards for a lot of work,
and,
like
and
you
they
said.
they have a lot of access now. I mean, they, talk with people like Phil Spencer from Xbox and
Excellent.
the lead developers for different video games. I mean, they have what I would consider to be full access to pretty much anybody they want. There's, they haven't gotten in with certain people from Sony and Nintendo.
Okay.
But as far as Microsoft goes, they pretty much talk to whoever they like.
Which will only improve things for them. So so good job to them.
Very awesome. And then I also listened to last week's episode of this show, Lobbycast 327, with Will, Erin, and Blaine, and it was really great. If you guys missed last week's show and you're catching this week's show, then definitely go back and listen to it. It was cool having a little bit different. It was almost different format because Blaine had done his homework to no one's surprise.
Absolutely.
to no one's surprise. I mean, the rest of us, we do the show. We take the news for the week and we come in and have discussions about it. But Blaine had definitely dug in, and
he really did,
and it was good. It was good. That's what I told him. Through GroupMe, as if money were not an object, he would be in charge of the interview department. So, yeah. So, kudos to you guys. You guys did a great job last week.
Well, thank you, sir.
That's it for me. What you been watching this week?
Not a huge amount, honestly. Getting back to that
but
time
you watched
crunch
Hannibal,
issue,
didn't you?
I did. A couple episodes of Hannibal. I'm only, I had only watched one last week, and I only watched one more this week. So that brought me through episode 4.
Okay, perfect. So, what's your opinion so far? I mean, I know you talked about it a little bit last week, but now
very briefly
I'm actually here. So.
Right. No, it's good stuff, and I was actually looking up, trying to find some information on this last episode online because my understanding was when it had originally hit the air that it was yanked because of controversy.
And I know the episode you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, so the other eating people episodes were okay, but this one irritated somebody for some reason. I must know more. And Brian Singer, I guess, corrected. People were initially saying it was because of the Boston Marathon bombings, which apparently is not true. It was because this episode dealt with children perpetrating, doing bad things. Yeah. I don't want to really put any spoilers on the air,
right.
But and the proximity to the Sandy Hook tragedy was a little too close, is my understanding.
Yeah, and that's what I had heard as well.
Okay.
So. Yeah.
And I also discovered online that, and I guess they do this, is that people, because of the food, and we discussed this last time, the food looks so good, which is awful because you know what it is. But people actually started sending requests into the studio asking for the recipes for the food that he was cooking online, only without the different ingredients.
Right.
And so I guess
little less
of the human factor.
Yeah.
A little more of the not people thing.
Right.
I guess you can actually get some recipes for these things online.
Cool.
Which is awesome. Which made me happy.
We might have to have a Hannibal dinner party.
I think we should do that. Sir, I think that is an excellent idea.
I mean, I know that was your idea, but I wanted to give voice to it. I could feel you having that idea.
So I think we should. We'll pick out some recipes.
We're all dressed really nice.
Yeah. We'll maximize the not people aspect.
Right.
And find
mostly.
Mostly.
Right.
We'll pick and choose.
Whoever shows up last is
gets the short straw.
I mean, gets the short straw. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant.
That's absolutely what you meant. So yeah, that's. And again, since as we discussed last week, I'm going to see the kids in the hall tonight with Brick, actually, who couldn't be here with us today, and a couple other people. I'm enjoying seeing Scott Thompson on the show. It's fun for me to see him doing other things outside of the kids in the hall.
Yeah. It's Yeah, at some point, I will go back and rewatch the first couple of seasons. That it's just so interesting, and it gets really mind-bendy. Especially watching the way Hannibal manipulates his environment.
True, and I think from what little I've seen so
cool.
far, it is. And to me, there's also the aspect of, and you see this in earlier movies and earlier books, of Hannibal has an interesting set of morals, and in that there are some things in what he finds black, white, and gray.
Right.
Or who he decides should be punished and who he decides should be healed.
Yeah.
And they're really capitalizing on that in the show, which makes me happy. At least so far. I don't know what they do later.
Yeah. They do great things, for sure. So what else did you watch besides Hannibal?
Let's see. I watched a few documentaries. One, Minecraft, the story of Mojang.
Which would be interesting.
It is. If anyone feels the need, I think they're running it a few times on cable.
Yeah, I've never had any interest in the game, but
me neither.
The story's pretty cool.
It really is, and I was not familiar with it, but it was fun to do that or get more familiar with that.
Did it take you all the way through the acquisition by Microsoft, or is it just backstory?
It's backstory.
Oh, okay.
It is. It's backstory, and it shows them even building up to, at that time, what was one of their more recent big conferences in Las Vegas, and seeing how big an impact their game was having. It shows them using it in classrooms, which I didn't realize was happening.
I hadn't heard that either.
No, in elementary schools where they're using it in computer classes and various different cognitive ways to show building and logical thinking and things of that nature. So that was very interesting.
I suppose it'd be helpful in design. Teaching kids design also.
And they seem to really enjoy it. So
well, that's cool.
Win-win for everybody. Another doc called Cocaine Cowboys about the 1980s explosion of the cocaine trafficking trade in Miami, Florida.
What was the movie Blow with Johnny Depp?
Yes, and Penelope Cruz.
Yeah.
It was so long ago that I saw that movie. I don't remember who that's about.
Right. It could be the same one of the same people.
It could be.
Yeah.
And they did go through interviews with a few different people. They talked to a trafficker and a distributor who were working in Miami at that time, and they talked to law enforcement agents that were really dealing with an impossible task, trying to deal with this horrible explosion of this drug that was kind of wreaking havoc in their city for basically a decade. And they even talked to, in a scary sort of way, the most fascinating person there was a high-level enforcer for one of the cartels. Oh wow! Who is doing time right now. And if you want to see, I think it's sociopathy in action, then. That would be a great place to start.
There you go.
So that was, if you can find that. I don't know if there's currently scheduled any other future viewings of that, but I think it's online if you're interested in looking that up. A little bit of Stephen Fry in America.
Very cool.
A movie called As Above, So Below.
Oh yeah, the one that takes place in
Paris. Yeah, in the Paris catacombs. So.
Right.
Not great, not terrible. It was interesting.
I think I have a copy of that movie.
Okay.
I'll have to watch it.
They did a good job with the claustrophobia aspect of the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
That was effective, I thought. Cool. Got caught up on Penny Dreadful, which is as good as always.
I'm 2 episodes behind.
We will say nothing. Nothing else will be said.
Okay.
And
I still think the last one I saw was where she went and stayed with the witch.
Yes.
So I think that is the last one, and then the sisters or whoever came in, and got her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you are a couple episodes behind. So yes, you have many more interesting stories to come. Yes. And Will and I looked up at some point in the last week and went, my God. It has been years since we watched either Clue or Airplane. How have we let this happen? So we fixed that. Not to worry. It's been rectified. Both of them in 1 week.
Wow.
We're much happier people now.
Oh man, I don't know if I could go back and rewatch Clue.
Surely you can't be serious.
I'm serious. Don't call me Shirley. Airplane, I think I watched probably a dozen times.
Like you do.
Like you do.
True.
Yeah, a Clue, huh? That's interesting. I wouldn't have thought to go back and rewatch Clue, so maybe I'll have to watch it just because of that.
That movie still makes me very happy. So hopefully it makes you happy too if you decide
Perfect.
to do that. So that about sums it up for me. What you got going on?
Well, I've got a few things since it was over a couple of weeks. Even though I was busy, I still had some late night viewing time and early morning viewing time. I picked up Bosch again, which is Amazon's original show. And I really like the main actor, and I just lost his name.
Okay.
Very recognizable. I mean, you'd know who he was immediately. And that's pretty. It's pretty good. Some of the writing is bad.
Okay.
Like in episode 2 was, or maybe it was episode 1 or 2. It's just they fell into some cop drama cliches, and it made me really angry. But it got better.
That's
so,
good. Yeah, or that early
and
on.
I really like the actor, and I like the actress that is like, I guess, the female lead.
Okay.
She's kind of a side character, but also his love interest, and she's really recognizable too. She was actually in one of the seasons of 24. She was the redheaded FBI agent. You didn't watch 24 though.
I did. I think the first.
Okay,
two and a half seasons.
Yeah, you wouldn't
but
have
I
seen.
wouldn't have seen her.
You wouldn't have seen her, but
and it's BOSCH,
I believe.
I was just thinking, if only we had a device that we could consult to get the answers to questions like these. So I will let you continue telling me about said actors while I look this up.
Yeah, and I really like her also. She's she plays a uniformed police officer, and he's a detective. But he's
Titus Welliver?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. You know who he is.
Yes, I recognized him when it popped up.
Right.
And her
name is.
We are backtracking on the device.
Sarah Clark.
Sarah Clark, yay!
There we go.
The device.
The device has helped us.
Yay!
Yeah. So I've been enjoying that. I think I'm only 3 or 4 episodes in, but I was definitely enjoying that. Up to date on Game of Thrones.
Excellent.
And as of last night, I watched the season 3 premiere of Hannibal, and it may be the best episode yet.
Interesting.
Yeah, because it's mostly just Hannibal and Gillian Anderson.
Oh.
Some Mads Mikkelsen and Gillian Anderson. So, and Gillian Anderson plays his therapist.
You'd mentioned that, so
Yeah.
and I really like her.
Like, oh wow, it was so good. I started watching it late last night after I got home from work, and I'm like, oh no, this is too good. I have to wait till there's no chance that I'm going to fall asleep watching it. So
wow.
I watched it this morning because there was way too much subtlety for just like a passive viewing. I would say
good.
Yeah, and it it's so awesome watching him just be Hannibal and like controlling the world around him. Absolutely unfazed by anything that comes his way.
He seems to do a great job of that so far. So the fact that it only gets better, that's good to hear.
So good. And I watched it's like a preview of a pilot for a show called Mr. Robot, and it has Christian Slater in it. but it's a story about this young hacker
Okay.
who works a security division for a computer company, a tech company, and him kind of being recruited into a counterculture, submersive, like we're against the government and against against the power.
It's the man.
Yeah, so we'll see. It actually doesn't come to series until this fall. I don't know why they put out this pilot
That
so
was going to
early.
be my next question.
Yeah, but it's going to be on USA.
Okay. See how
So,
that goes?
Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, good.
It was really good.
That bodes well then?
Yeah. And then Silicon Valley. I'm now up to date because I went back and watched episode 4, not realizing that I had missed it. So I have been watching the entire series out of sequence.
That must have made things
It wasn't as bad as you might think.
Okay.
I don't know why it should have been really bad watched that way, but
Not so much, huh?
yeah. Yeah, well, I watched what was that most recent Keanu Reeves movie? John Wick.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that, and the chapters had gotten scrambled, so I watched it out of order, and that was fine.
I was going to say that.
I'll go back and watch it in order at some point, but yeah, for some reason the chapters were scrambled.
I enjoyed that movie a lot, but I can definitely see how that one... I mean, a lot of that movie is Keanu shooting people in the face, so really...
Yeah, you just have
kinda hard to take
to
that,
think about at what point it happened.
Right.
When you're watching chapters out of sync, then things become flashbacks rather than linear.
Then current, yes.
Yeah,
That could work.
yeah. So it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
Up to date on iZombie. I really like that show. Inside Amy Schumer,
Okay.
also very funny. Very funny. And then I'm up to date on Orphan Black. So I watched an episode or two of that, but I am current on that one.
Okay.
So I just need to get myself current on Penny Dreadful.
Yep. Then
And then, of course, I am even with you on Angel.
very good. Very good,
And
sir.
I hope you enjoy my silly episode descriptions.
Yeah, just so you all know, he is actually posting episode descriptions on Group Me of Angel.
But they're
which
not...
is making me chuckle.
It's not a synopsis. It's like the little tagline that you might read...
Right.
Like a brief episode description in like TV Guide or something like that.
That's a perfect summary of what he's doing. Yes.
Like a 1 or 2 sentence sentence thing. And I've been amusing myself with those descriptions.
With those descriptions, clearly. Yes.
So anyway, But did you know the episode I was talking about?
I haven't started. I've only been watching Buffy. I haven't started on Angel
Oh, you
yet.
haven't watched Angel. Well, maybe Brick
So,
would know that.
No, I'm sure Brick is quite entertained with what you've been doing. And frankly, I kind of have been too. So
nobody's really acknowledging my little
doesn't mean
my little description.
we weren't chuckling
I know.
at home.
I know. Yeah, so I'll talk to Brick and see if he recognizes them from my descriptions.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, so that's all done. That's all of my what you watchings. What you playing, Erin?
Again, I did not get a lot done this week as far as playing, but a lot of it was just app games. Things like Don't Judge. I got
Is that the name of the app?
No,
Don't
but
Judge?
It should be at this point. It should be. I got a new phone, so I was messing around with Cookie Jam and Panda Pop and ridiculousness like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Right.
I haven't played them, so
Oh, and the another one though. Then this is Brick's fault. I know you're all stunned that Brick might have gotten me into a trivia game, but Quiz Up.
Yeah, and I downloaded it. I haven't actually started it yet.
I think you'll like it. I like
made
it
my
better than
account
Trivia
yet.
Crack.
Oh, do you?
I like it a lot better than Trivia Crack
Okay.
because Trivia Crack only gave you the option to play through Facebook with people that you know. This gives you a world. It's a worldwide database, so it just finds you an opponent
I play
from
with
anywhere.
strangers.
Well, that,
on
on
Trivia
Trivia Crack you can do that, but I found that it wasn't. I don't know. It just wasn't happening as often,
Okay.
or there was always, let's find you an opponent, and I was going.
Gotcha.
it wasn't. It makes it happen whenever you want it to, and you're not.
Yeah, I'll have to check it out.
And it has a lot more categories. You're stuck with the what is it, 6 or so, 7 categories on Trivia Crack. This has
6. It's like Trivial Pursuit.
It has dozens.
Cool.
That you pick. You can pick your favorites, and there's always new ones cycling in.
Okay.
So it's a much more inclusive game. So I think you'll like it. And I got back on my Pottermore accounts online and was messing around with those a little bit.
Okay.
So that about sums it up, though, for me.
Nice. Well, I went in and did a tiny bit of maintenance in Neverwinter. That was about it.
Good for you.
My character actually never even pivoted or moved. I stood in one spot. I don't really have to move the joysticks at all to do my maintenance.
All right.
Basically, I just log in to check on my trade skill minions and say a little prayer. And that's pretty much it.
Keep the minions in line.
Yep.
Throw out a prayer. You're done.
Yep. Conduct mass.
Out.
Done. And then I played some co-op on Dying Light with Sam, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah?
Yeah. I had been told that co-op is definitely some of the best parts of Dying Light. And I really enjoyed Dying Light anyway.
I knew you really liked that game, so it's good to hear that the co-op is as fun.
Oh, co-op's great. So.
Sweet.
What? Hopefully next week we'll be talking about how much we enjoyed playing ESO.
I really hope so. That will make me happy.
What's today, the 6th?
I think so. Yes.
Oh,
Yep.
it's Laura's birthday.
It is. I have wished her happy birthday.
Perfect. And tomorrow is Sabrina's birthday and Colin's birthday, and my friend Marianne's husband Sean. It's his birthday tomorrow, and then somebody else. I know more people with birthdays in the month of June than there are days.
And you actually have one coming up here later in the month.
I do. True story.
True story.
I have to work.
Oh man.
So I can't get into my normal shenanigans on my birthday.
Can you get into belated shenanigans? Belated shenanigans are just
yeah, probably. We're switching over the swipe card system on all of our video games.
Oh.
Around that same time. It was supposed to happen this last week.
Okay.
And now it's happening the week of my birthday, so I'm not going to be doing anything.
It's not a great birthday present.
Yeah, well, what do you do?
Belated shenanigans, we'll make sure those happen.
Yeah, so. Absolutely.
And Laura, happy birthday. Happy
Laura,
birthday to everybody that has a birthday this week.
Yep. And let's see, what else? It seemed like there was something else I was going to talk about. I guess not, though.
We remembered Fallout 4. We remembered the really important thing.
Yeah. And, so we... Wait, it comes out on the 9th, so... Yeah. Is that Tuesday? Tuesday.
Tuesday the 9th? Okay.
Tuesday is when ESO comes out.
Yes.
I have Tuesday off.
Ooh.
I also had a number of things that I wanted to get done on Tuesday. So let's see when my copy of the game arrives.
Yeah, that I think that's all going to come down to that one detail.
Yeah, my days off are busier than my work days.
I've noticed that.
For sure. Although this is a pretty good one. Coming over here to record at 1, and then I'll be at work until 3:30 tonight.
Got it.
Go straight to work from here. So that's kind of a longer day too.
Right.
So so let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you everybody for watching and listening. Oh, see, we brought it in around our normal time.
Normal time there.
Yep.
Yay for us.
And let's see what else. Yeah, look for us and spread the word. If other people want to listen to us, yeah, we're pretty much anywhere you need to be. I mean, we're on YouTube, iTunes, Zune Marketplace, Spreaker, and Google Plus.
We can be found many places.
We can be found many places.
True.
Many, many places. And I think SoundCloud also.
Okay.
Jeez,
Did not know that.
I don't know. Yeah, we're in a lot of places, is what I'm saying.
So look us up.
And mostly on Facebook. Yeah. So, anywhere you want to be, we should be there also.
We are there.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Have a good day.
Okay, bye.
We're out.